Hey there, we are back with financial experts Janae Adams and Ted Rossman. They are answering your debt and money questions. I want to start out by asking you, Janae, I'm going to start with you. What would you say is the biggest misconception that people have about debt or going into debt?
I would definitely say it's two, definitely. One, that people think they're going to die in debt. And number two, they think it's going to take forever to pay it off. But once you start focusing on what you want to do, which is pay the debt off, it actually goes a lot faster. I didn't think I was going to pay off $50,000 of debt in 2 years. But once I started seeing the amount go down, it made me even more energetic to get it paid off. And I started finding new ways to sell things, new ways to make money. And that's how it ended up going a lot faster. So you can get it done in a fast way.
And Ted, what about you? What would you say is the biggest misconception you hear about maybe credit card debt or credit cards in general?
One myth that really drives me crazy is this idea that you have to carry credit card debt to improve your credit score. That is definitely false. We don't want you to have credit card debt. We want you to pay your bills in full every month and avoid interest. So that's definitely a pesky myth out there that bugs me.
Janae, what would you say is the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to debt?
I would say the biggest mistake is feeling that you're alone in it. It's plenty of people, not only in this country, but around the world, who are in debt as well. And because of that mistake, a lot of people keep it to themselves and never seek help. And that's where you end up seeing people being in it for not only years, but decades, and sometimes their entire life. So just understand that you're not alone.
All right, and Ted, how about you? What would you say is the biggest mistake people make?
I think it's chasing rewards when you have credit card debt because the math just doesn't work. The average credit card charges 16%. So if you're getting 1% or 2% or even 5% in cash back or airline miles, it's just not worth it. So you really need to be in that camp that's paying your bills in full, avoiding interest. That's the only way that rewards work for you. Otherwise, if you have credit card debt, focus on a 0% balance transfer card or even just stick to debit for a while you pay down that debt.
A couple of questions that we've been getting. Janae, I'm going to pose these to you. Someone's asking, after 180 days, are you still responsible for the debt you have? And is my estate liable for my credit card debt when I die?
Well, after 180 days, it's still going to be liable for it. The statute of limitations is much longer than that, and I'm sure Ted can discuss that as well. As far as your estate, what you have has to stand for what you owe, unfortunately. So if you have credit card debt, it has to get paid. Whatever you owe and whatever you own has to stand for what you owe.
So with that, does student loans go on that as well?
So with student loans, that is one of those tricky, debts that can end up being erased because you are dead. But credit card debt, the mortgage, those kind of things, they can go after that. They can't really go after a diploma.
Ted, somebody's wondering, what is a credit card you can get if your credit is poor, or a credit card to rebuild your credit?
A really good starting point is the whole class of credit cards known as secured cards. And when they say secured, they mean secured by a deposit. So you might put down a couple $100, let's say, and that serves as your credit line. You're still expected to make monthly payments with additional funds, and then you get the deposit back at the end once you close the account or upgrade to something better. But this is really low risk for the issuer and also for you. The best secured cards report to the credit bureaus, so they're going to help you build credit. So I would look into that. Capital One has a good secured card. Amazon has a secured card. A lot of credit unions. I would look into a secured card for that purpose.
Somebody's wondering, how do I get a credit card if I don't have credit? Janae?
And that's probably a question best for him. I don't use credit cards myself, so that's probably a better question for it.
All right, Ted.
So besides secured cards as a way to build credit, there's also a new class of these more fintech kind of oriented lenders. I'm thinking of companies like Petal, for example. Tomo Credit is another one. These are companies that are looking for people that don't have much of a credit history. So they're actually able to approve people with good habits, but no credit.
All right, Ted, Janae, thank you both so much for being here. Your expertise is always very welcome. If you've missed any of this or you'd like to watch it again, you can find it on our website in the 2 Wants to Know section. We'll be right back.